There's a silence within him that speaks louder than all his words. You've felt it. In the pauses. In the way his gaze lingers before he looks away. In the way he breathes your name in his thoughts, but never says it out loud. And tonight, the angels urge you to stop doubting. Because what you feel is real. He's opening his heart, slowly, painfully, but there's a truth he hasn't dared to share. One that burns behind every guarded smile. He sees you. Not just with his eyes. With his soul. With the part of him he's spent a lifetime hiding. The angels say, he didn't expect you. And that scared him. Because your presence awakens things he thought were buried forever. Your light has called to something ancient inside him. A knowing. A memory of love that isn't from this world. That's why he hesitates. That's why he draws close and keeps a distance at the same time. It's not confusion, it's recognition. He knows that being near you will change everything. And still, he can't stay away. The angels show me that God placed you on his path not to complete him, but to remind him of who he truly is. A man capable of depth, reverence, and surrender. But to become that man, he must first let go of everything he is not. He's unraveling. And you, beloved, are the thread. He wonders if you know. If you've noticed the way he softens in your presence. If you've seen past the armor he so carefully wears. He doesn't voice it. But he feels you in every quiet moment. And that's where the truth lies. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. You weren't an accident in his life. You were a divine appointment. And now, heaven watches as he takes his first steps toward what his soul has always known. He's opening. He's breaking. He's becoming. And the one thing he hasn't said yet is the one thing that's been true all along. You were sent for him. He pulls back not because he doesn't care, but because he cares far more than he knows how to handle. The angels whisper, this man is afraid of his own tenderness. There are places within him where love was once bruised, abandoned, made to feel like weakness. And now, every time his heart leans toward you, those old wounds tremble. Not from you, but from memory. This has nothing to do with your worth. Nothing to do with how deeply you are loved. It's about how unprepared he is to feel this much, this fast, this real. He's been taught that control equals safety. That distance protects. But you disarm him. Your gentleness becomes a mirror. And in that reflection, he sees not only what he could be, but what he's afraid to lose. The angels say, there's a war between the man he shows to the world and the one who longs to fall at your feet. He sabotages moments because he doesn't trust joy. He disappears when the connection gets too close, too beautiful, as if preparing himself to grieve something before it's even gone. He's not playing games. He's terrified. Terrified that if he lets himself love you the way his soul already does, he won't know how to survive the intensity. But you are not here to rescue him. You are the light that calls his courage to the surface. He has to choose to stay in the fire long enough to transform. And even if he runs again, even if his fear speaks louder than his desire, the imprint of your presence is permanent. You didn't just touch his heart. You stirred the places he buried. He doesn't say it, but his silence is full of longing. Full of questions he's still too afraid to ask. The angels show him weeping in spirit, not from regret, but from the overwhelming beauty of what he feels in your presence. Let him find his way back through the dark. Your love was never the problem. It's the light his shadows weren't ready for. You do not have to shrink to be loved. You do not have to dim your fire so he can find his light. The angels want you to remember, your heart is not a waiting room. He is in process, yes. But so are you. And while he learns how to love without fear, you are being called to love yourself unconditionally. This journey was never just about him. It was always about you too. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself that went quiet every time someone else's needs felt louder than your own. You've spent so much time holding space for others. Now the angels urge you, gently, fiercely, to hold space for yourself. The ache in your chest is not only about his silence. It's about all the times you silenced your own needs in the name of patience, hope, and understanding. But beloved, love does not require self-abandonment. You are not meant to burn out trying to keep someone else warm. The angels say, your light is sacred. Your joy, your tenderness, your wisdom, none of it needs to be earned or justified. He may need time. He may need distance. But you need nourishment. You need moments that are just yours. You need to remember who you are when no one is asking you to prove it. Let the stillness be your sanctuary. Let your breath become your prayer. Because every time you choose yourself, you show him, without saying a word, what true love looks like. Not sacrifice. Not waiting endlessly. But staying rooted in your essence. Unmoved by fear. The angels ask, when was the last time you looked at yourself with the same tenderness you offer him? He is not the only one awakening. You are too. And your radiance is not dependent on his clarity. It rises because it is divine. You didn't just walk into his life. You walked into his soul, and with that came the unraveling. The angels say, your presence is not neutral. It awakens. It exposes. It heals. You are not just a light. You are a mirror. And when he looks at you, he sees everything he's been avoiding. His own desires, his unresolved grief, the tenderness he buried beneath years of striving to be enough. That's why he seems distant at times. It's not because he's indifferent, but because when he's with you, he feels seen. Fully. Undeniably. And for someone who has spent a lifetime guarding his heart, that kind of clarity feels like both a blessing and a storm. You reflect the man he's becoming, not the man he pretended to be. And that reflection shakes him. He wants to be worthy of your love, but he's afraid that if you truly saw all of him, you'd turn away. He doesn't realize. You already do. And still you stay. The angels show him trembling, not from fear of you, but from the echo of your truth inside him. Your love is not passive. It doesn't coddle his wounds, it reveals them. You don't chase. You don't demand. You simply exist, in your full beauty and power. And that is what moves him the most. No one ever loved him like that. No one ever made him feel that being himself was enough. You became the silence that held his chaos, the calm that made the noise in his mind unbearable. The soul that didn't need to fix him, only to remind him of who he is. And now, every time he looks into your eyes, he sees the life he's afraid to believe he deserves. The angels say, you didn't come to complete him. You came to remind him he was never broken. Something is shifting inside him. You can feel it. Not in words, but in the energy that pulses between you when everything is quiet. The angels say, what you ignited in him is beginning to bloom. It started as a whisper, a flicker he tried to ignore. But now, the flame is growing. And he can no longer pretend not to feel it. This is not just attraction. It's not just curiosity. This is soul memory. And it's waking him up. He's starting to notice things he once ignored. The way his heart races when he hears your name. The way time seems to slow down when you're around. The strange calm that washes over him when he thinks of you, even on the toughest days. You've become his guiding star. Quietly. Constantly. He may not vocalize it, but the change is happening. The angels show him lying awake at night, replaying the sound of your laughter, wondering why it lingers in his mind like a song he once knew by heart. He catches himself smiling at the thought of you, and then he wonders why he ever attempted to run. This is how awakening begins, not with bold declarations, but with mere presence. With the realization that life before you felt like mere survival, and life near you feels like truly living. The angels whisper, he's remembering what it means to feel. And in that remembrance, there is fear. Because to awaken is to let go of the illusion of control. But something in him is making a choice. Choosing to listen. Choosing to question. choosing to feel. And slowly, beautifully, painfully, he is becoming the man his soul has always been. He is awakening not just to you, but to love. He leaves, then comes back. He closes the door, only to stand behind it, hoping you'll knock. The angels say, this cycle isn't cruelty. It's fear disguised as self-protection. Each time he draws near, something ancient stirs, hope, desire, the longing to be truly known. And just as he begins to lean in, the old doubts return. The ones that tell him love is dangerous. That vulnerability makes him weak. And so he retreats. Not because he wants to, but because part of him still believes that disappearing will save him from drowning in what he feels. But what he doesn't yet understand is that your love is not a storm. It's the shoreline. The place where all his waves finally find peace. The angels reveal that this back and forth is a reflection of his own internal conflict. One part of him yearns to stay, build, and belong. The other part whispers that connection is too risky, too delicate, too unpredictable. And so he runs. But running never brings him peace. Because no matter how far he goes, the memory of you follows him. The scent of your presence. The comfort of your silence. The way your soul never demanded he be anything other than himself. He tries to recreate that with others. He tries to forget. But nothing compares. The angels whisper, he doesn't want to lose you. But he doesn't yet know how to keep you. So he circles. Moves in loops. Disappears not because the love is gone, but because it's too real. He's not testing your worth. He's testing his own readiness. And though it hurts, the distance is not rejection. It's reflection. He's learning slowly that love isn't meant to feel like a battlefield. And your absence is teaching him more than your presence ever could. Every time he leaves, something breaks open. And one day, he won't run. Because he'll finally understand, you were never the danger. You were the healing. You didn't fix him. You didn't force him. You simply loved, without needing to be loved back in the same way. And that was the remedy. The angels say, your love entered the cracks, not the walls. He never had to perform for you. Never had to prove, impress, or pretend. And in a world where he's always felt like a role to play, you became his first breath of truth. He doesn't talk about it. He might not even realize it yet. But your presence has softened parts of him that even he was too afraid to touch. That's what real love does. It doesn't demand change. It inspires it. He's been walking through life with armor so thick, even joy couldn't get in. But then came your laughter. Your eyes that see beyond behavior. Your spirit that reaches the places no words can touch. You didn't love the version of him he tried to present to the world. You loved the pain beneath the surface. And slowly, without asking for anything in return, your love began to heal what silence had hardened. The angels show him thinking of you in quiet moments, not with longing, but with awe. He's starting to realize that you weren't just kind. You were light. The kind that doesn't blind, but reveals. Now when he feels lost, it's not his pride that answers. It's the echo of your voice, the memory of your steadiness. This love, your love, isn't loud. It's sacred. And sacred things have their own language, one that moves in energy, not in explanations. You loved without needing to know the outcome. And in doing so, you became the safest place he's ever known. That safety is what's teaching him to trust again, to feel again, to believe that not all love leaves. The angels say, he may never find the words to express it. But one day, he'll realize. He started healing the moment he met you. You were never walking this journey alone. Even in the silence, the unanswered questions, and the nights that begged for clarity, heaven was beside you. The angels say, this path was written long before either of you knew how to recognize signs. Each meeting, each distance, each reappearance was not random. It was orchestration. Divine timing flowed through the rhythm of your lives, aligning soul with soul at precisely the moment when growth required it. He may seem delayed. He may seem confused. But the angels reveal, he's exactly where he needs to be for his soul to remember. The delays were never denials. They were sanctified pauses. Moments stretched by the hands of God to create space for what must transform before the union could hold. You're not waiting. You're being prepared. And so is he. The angels show him receiving dreams, signs, and inner stirrings that make him question everything he thought he knew about love, about fate, about you. They're whispering to him through numbers, through songs, through the ache that wakes him up in the middle of the night. Your name isn't just a memory, it's becoming a calling. You were never just someone he met. You were the answer to a prayer he didn't know he had whispered. He is beginning to understand that this love isn't something to chase or control. It's something to bow to surrender. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. So let go of the need to know when, how, or if. Let your heart rest in the knowing that what is divinely guided can never be missed. He's not late. He's just learning how to walk by faith, not by fear. He wants to speak, but the words don't come. He wants to reach for you, but something in his chest tightens. Not because you intimidate him, but because you see him. And that is the most terrifying thing of all. The angels say, he's standing at the edge of his own heart, afraid to step in. He has known affection. He has known admiration. But this is different. This is love with no mask, no performance, no script. You were the first to make him feel safe enough to unravel. And yet, that same safety exposes the part of him that still doesn't believe he deserves to be chosen, just as he is. He fears the light because he spent years adapting to the dark. The walls he built weren't meant to keep you out. They were built long before you came. And now, those walls tremble at the sound of your soul calling his. He's not cold. He's not lost. He's raw. The angels show him sitting in silence, holding your memory like something fragile, afraid that if he touches it wrong, it'll disappear. He's questioning, will she still want me if she sees the mess? Will she stay if I fall apart? Can I offer anything more than broken pieces? And yet, even in the midst of all this fear, he hasn't let go. Because no one else has ever made him feel like he could come undone and still be loved. He may not say it, but his heart is stretching, toward you, toward truth, towards the sacred risk of being seen. The angels remind you, vulnerability is the birthplace of real love. And though he hesitates, he's learning that to love without armor is to finally be free. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. He's still trembling, beloved. But he's closer now than ever before. There comes a moment when striving fades. When the reaching, the waiting, the ache to understand, all dissolve into stillness. And in that stillness, there is peace. The angels say, this is not the end of your story, it's the surrender that sets it free. You've done your part. You've loved without grasping. You've shown up, even when silence was the only answer. You've stood in your truth, even when it echoed in an empty room. Now is the time to release. Not the love, but the outcome. To trust that what is yours, what is meant, what is divinely aligned, can never be taken, never be lost, never need to be chased. He may still be learning. He may still be silent. But the echo of your love has already reached him. The angels reveal that your acceptance is the seed from which everything new will grow. When you choose peace over control, you open a portal for divine timing to move. And what feels like distance is not punishment, it's preparation. The love you gave was never wasted. Not a single glance. Not a single prayer. Not a single moment spent hoping. It all mattered. Because you didn't just plant love in his life. You planted light. And now, he must choose to follow it. In his own time. In his own way. The angels ask you now to rest. Not to give up, but to exhale. To let the river carry you instead of swimming against it. The ending you imagined may not unfold as planned, but what is coming will be sacred. The kind of love that doesn't need to be proven, only recognized. The kind that returns without fear. The kind that stays. The angels close this message with a seal. Be still, and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. What is yours will not pass you by. And love, true, holy love, always finds its way home.